The following is a presentation of the Mat Talk Podcast Network.
You are now tuned into the PA Power Podcast, College Edition, featuring Rob Waltko and Joe Youngblood. PA Power Wrestling. Pennsylvania is wrestling.
All right, fans, welcome to the Open Room with Rob and Joe. A lot to talk about this week's podcast. We're going to review Midlands, Scuffle, and preview some of the matches coming up. And, we're going to talk about some of the other wrestling went on besides Midlands and Scuffle. Rob, I'm glad to be back in the new year. How about you?
Yeah, good to be back. There's a heck of a lot to talk about, both that did happen and then what's coming up. So glad to share some wrestling knowledge with our friends.
I'll tell you what, you coming off, the weekend, not just wrestling and the new year, but I got to say, I'm just going to throw it out there. How about that Eagles win over the Bears, Rob?
Yeah, Cody Parkey, huh? He that poor son of a gun.
Once an Eagle, always an Eagle.
Magic. Yeah, we'll see if they have the same magic this week, but it's hard to bet against Peterson right now.
Peterson and Foles, for that matter.
Yeah, good point. But, hopping into the wrestling action, we'll start with the Midlands. Obviously, that happened a couple weeks ago, but we were off. We'll jump into the early weights and kind of digest it. 125, obviously, Spencer Lee kind of got handled by Sebastian Rivera, which I don't think anyone really saw coming. 33, you had DeSanto. He beat 16th-ranked Gosner, so not the toughest weight in the world. And then 141, Murin takes a loss to interstate rival Josh Albert. Right away, what do you think about Lee? I know that Mark Ironside on the radio show in Iowa said that he's been really sick, but what do you think is going on? Is this guy sick? Is he mentally? Does he need a break? Is he hurt? What are you guessing, Joe?
I don't know. If I look at past history, he lost at Midlands last year. Maybe it's a tough time of year for him. Maybe Midlands is, his kryptonite. I just think, honestly, this is a blip on the schedule. Prior to going to Midlands, I'd gone on record in several conversations saying that you're not going to see Spencer Lee lose another match because he looked that good. So I feel there had to be something going on. He was sick, I could see that being it. He didn't look himself. He wasn't quick. He didn't look strong. Rivera, like you said, handled him. You can't be as good as Lee and look as unstoppable as he did, and then look that human without something going on. You're sick, overtrained, maybe. Maybe just had a bad day. It could be one of those factors or a combination of all three. It doesn't waver for me saying that he's still the favorite come March, and we're going to have him there. But I will say, Rivera, for someone who came on late last year, had a great NCAA tournament. This gives him all the confidence he needs moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the thing: when you say something's up with Lee. He looked this way last year for part of the year. Don't forget, he kind of faded versus Rivera, Piccinini the first time around. Bresser, he couldn't get going. And then, come March is really when he looked unstoppable. So, I don't know, maybe he's training through things. Maybe he was just really good last March. He's always really good. But, the next few weeks will be telling. We'll see where he's really at. What do you think about 33 and 41? DeSanto won a pretty weak weight class. No real surprises there to me, at least.
Now, and if you put DeSanto in the Scuffle at 133, which was one of the deeper weight classes there, he's looking at probably a fourth place finish. Truth be told, third tops. I don't think he'd run with everyone there and come up with a big win after big win. Considering he lost to Gomez, Fix was there, Roman Bravo Young. So, right there, he would have to, wrestle out of his mind to, I feel, make the, win that bracket, let alone make the final. He'd have to wrestle pretty daggone good just to take third. Midlands 33 was not what it was in other weight classes, and he benefited from that. A Midlands title is a Midlands title, but when you're reading, he didn't hit the top level competition that he would have in another tournament. So I'm not wavering on DeSanto. I still think at the end of the year he's going to be a guy. It's going to be in that that round of 12. We'll talk a little bit later about him coming up this week and is wrestling another fellow PA alum in a dual meet with Minnesota. But I'm just I want to see DeSanto when this Big Ten schedule gets going and into Big Tens, and we'll have a good idea of where he's going to be. Definitely then leading into the NCAA tournament. Murin, to be honest, Albert's tough. He's no slouch. He's been around, and he's not. For Murin, this is one of the guys he needs to beat, and type of guy he needs to beat if he's gonna if he has aspirations to All American this year. I don't know. I don't think Murin started out a little bit more so on fire and wrestling better. And I mentioned overtraining with Lee. Maybe possibly he's a casualty of that. He just kind of plateaued a little bit, it seems, and he's not putting points up on the board like he did earlier. And again, wrestling tougher competition, I take that in consideration, but. As I said, these are the type of matches he needs to win, or at least show that he's a little bit more competitive in than to reach those goals he's got set forth for himself.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, he's not looking that offensive, and that's kind of the Achilles heel for the Iowa guys, right? Is they're very physical, they stay in good position, they push, but they're not getting the leg attacks enough. So I don't know if he's falling victim to that. It's a long season. Maybe he's just a little off, but yeah, he's been slipping in the wrong direction in the rankings. I think he's down to 19 right now. He was somewhere 10, 12 earlier. So, rankings don't mean a whole lot, but this Big Ten schedule, the good thing is he's going to have plenty of chances to prove himself, but he's got to start winning pretty quick. Jumping into those middleweights, 149, I just want to stop here for a second. Sammy Sasso, holy smokes, was he just impressive. He beat 4 national qualifiers. All 4 guys at the point were ranked in the top 20. Right now, you got Pantaleo, who's ranked 14th at 157, Lugo, 16th at 149, Paul Myers at 20. But he looked awesome. I mean, that match with Pantaleo was dominant. He rode him, kind of controlled the pace on his feet, and then had a big comeback versus Pat Lugo. This is after losing to Ja'Cory Teemer first round. He battles all the way back for third. I mean, Sasso probably, if he was wrestling attached right now, would be ranked somewhere in the top 10, top 12. Did you expect him to be this good, Joe? I know when I did the broadcast with Jeff, I mentioned that I thought Kolazic was the only guy he couldn't beat. Now, if I had known Pantaleo was at 49, I might have said that too, but he really did impress me. I can't wait to watch him next year. What are your thoughts on him?
I'll piggyback that. Next year can't come quick enough for me to watch Sammy Sasso, even if he's going to be wrestling for the Buckeyes. He just had a monster tournament. I mean, his lone loss was Teemer, as you mentioned, and he's no slouch. He's another guy that's redshirting this year and was a super recruit for the Arizona State Sun Devils. But in the end, he finished ahead of Teemer. Teemer finished 5th. The way the bracket fell, they didn't get a chance to wrestle each other again. And he lost an 8-6 match, a close match, and then he went on a tear. The fact that they had Teemer and Sasso, the Midlands seating committee had them wrestle first in that first round was kind of like, I don't know. That doesn't make for good wrestling. They couldn't find him another way that they could have met till the second rounds. Rob, does that make sense to you? That's like a.
Yeah, they're both unseated. I mean, you look at the bracket. There's 8 or so ranked guys. I think you just kind of throw those 2 in the mix. I don't think Teemer's wrestled a lot, so it's tough to seed him. That way, I mean, outside those 2, you had Brayton Lee and Artelona from Penn. So there was 4 super true freshmen in there. That was by far the weight of the tournament.
Yeah, and Sasso went and made a statement like, hey, this is what you can look forward to for 4 more years or after this year. And super high ceiling for him. And Rob, I know we talked about him several times off the air, and I know you're a big fan. He's just a tremendous talent, and I can't wait to see how far he takes it.
Yeah, I'm excited for his future. He's a beast, man. 57, we had 2 Pennsylvania natives wrestle pretty well. You had Caleb Young, he's ranked number 6. And then Hartman from Bucknell, man, he's looking good. He's ranked all the way up to 11. Hartman beat Van Brill.
Go Bison.
And Pagdaleo, who's ranked 15 and 13. Young kind of took it to Hartman in the semis, and then he got beat up a little bit by Deacon in the finals. But, Hartman's looking like a legit All-American threat. And, Young at this point is looking like a guy that should place. I think he's maybe separate from those top-tier guys. Deacon kind of beat him up. You have Berger, I think, would be a little bit too much for him. Hidlay, and obviously Nolf. But what were your impressions on this weight?
I'm going to focus on Hartman. Since my eyes have been open to him since that Penn State duel when he kind of went at Nolf and he was fearless. So, right there, then and there, like he had my attention. And I definitely think he's a dark horse to All-American because he's dangerous and he's going to keep coming at you. So he's a guy that is, at the very least, I mentioned earlier, dangerous to be on the mat with. And I can't, again, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does the IWAs. And I know it's a long ways off. We're just in January now, but, all that stuff's lurking around the corner. They're going to get into their conference schedules and, from there go into, before you know it, we'll be there. And I don't want to project too far down, but on his upswing right now, things are looking good for him. Yeah,
I agree. And, 165, we'll jump into that. Shields from Arizona State, he's wrestled everyone this year. They had a dual meet with Michigan. He went and beat Mesa last week, but he's wrestled Marinelli, Wick, and Joseph this year, in addition to Steyert and Mesa. He ends up taking third, and he took a loss to Marinelli in the semis, but beat Steyert for third and fourth. Where do you see him in the pecking order? Is he a national championship contender, a guy to get in the finals, or is he kind of stuck in that low to mid All-American range?
So he's a second-tier guy for me right now, based upon the body of work for this season. He's a guy that he's on the cusp of getting in that discussion, I would think. But for me, he hasn't like turned that corner to beat. He wrestled Marinelli and Wick, super tough. Joseph's a different story. I still think that maybe he got caught up a little bit with the atmosphere at State College for a lot of friends and family because it was in his backyard where he grew up. And, that hostile crowd at State College, I think maybe that might have got him a little tense. And Joseph took it to him because, Joseph's used to wrestle in front of that crowd, and that crowd was, basically 100% behind him. But, he's gonna have another, he's gotta find when he's finding these matches there. We'll talk a little bit later about this weekend and the chances he might have, to wrestle if they match up with Lock Haven and wrestles Chance Marsteller. That's another opportunity for him to wrestle another top level guy and to show he belongs. Like, and it might be a confidence thing. It might just take one win over like one of them to open the floodgates for him, where he starts to open up a little bit more. I just feel like he holds back a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And to that note, I'd have to double check. I looked over the brackets for the Virginia duels this weekend. I think Arizona State and Lock Haven are on the same side, so there's a good chance. Yeah, they are. Lock Haven's going to have to wrestle Virginia. If they beat them and Arizona State more than likely will meet. So it would be interesting to see if those two end up wrestling twice this year. Joe, why don't you run us through the scuffle, switching gears a little bit? What were your impressions on some of the PA guys, Penn State and then Pennsylvania natives out there?
All right, so I'm going to start out right out the gate, Rob. I'm going to shoot out and then talk about what everyone's been talking about and the 125-pound situation at Penn State. The day before the tournament started, after everyone had to have their entries in, it's announced that Gavin Teasdale from Jefferson Morgan is going to wrestle attached for the Nittany Lions, and Teskey's going to wrestle unattached. Well, we knew Teskey was going to be unattached, but announced that the attached wrestler will be Teasdale. And then he doesn't wrestle the next day. And there's a lot of rumors circulating, and they are just that, rumors. I've not heard anything factual. I heard a lot of rumors, and I'm not. And again, we've gotten into this about Teasdale before, and he's an 18, 19-year-old kid with a tremendous amount of potential. And I've said it before. I hope he realizes the potential he has, and he makes the best of it. Some of those rumors, we're not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to entertain it because that's all it is, hearsay, and I'm not going to further spread anything that more than likely is not true. I'm just curious, and I'm unsure of how long this yo-yo merry-go-round we're on with Teasdale on the team, off the team, in the lineup, not in the lineup. How long it's going to go on. I don't know. I feel like he's getting more slacked than any other guy that's come through this Penn State program in the last few years. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
So if I had to guess on the issue of the scuffle, I bet it's weight. I think Penn State, their intention was to wrestle him. I'd be willing to bet money on that. I don't see the upside in Kale and company announcing that, then pulling him out when they know that he's not going to wrestle, right? So something changed between the time they announced it and the time of the tournament. If I had to guess, it's probably weight. But here's the problem. If he can't make 125, what are they going to do? I mean, I think Bravo Young probably at this point is probably too good a redshirt. Even, next year or the year after, they're going to want to keep him in there. So Teasdale's either got to get down to weight, ride the bench, or transfer. But to your point, yeah, there has been a lot of slack given. I don't know the kid or his situation, but I hope he figures it out. Because certainly, like you said, he has a lot of talent. You'd hate to see him waste it.
Moving on to 33, and Roman Bravo Young gets his first loss of the season. So might sound like I'm wavering. I was big on Bravo Young. I still am, but I saw the loss coming at this tournament. I thought he'd make the final and wrestle Fix. And to be honest, however, he didn't wrestle well early on, and like in the quarters, he didn't look so good. And in the semis, came out against Gomez, and got right to his offense. He's up 6-2, and then gets caught and pinned at the edge of the mat. Kind of just stops wrestling. I didn't envision him losing that match, or losing a match, or at least his first match that way, because he's been so consistent up to this point. But I will say, seeing with the program he's in and the coaches he has, and I'm going to venture guess the type of kid he is, it's not something like that's not going to happen again. And he won't get caught up 6 like that and stop wrestling at the edge of the mat. He'll lock in and finish better. I think he's right there with Gomez, and I still think at the end of the year he's going to be a top 8 guy. He's too talented not to.
I'm with you there, and I think stylistically that match with Gomez played out pretty much what you'd expect, except maybe the pin, right? I thought that Bravo Young would jump out to a big lead, or maybe not big lead, but get the first couple takedowns. And Gomez does that a lot. He wrestled Ty Smith in the first round, and Ty Smith was up big on him. I think it was 9-2 in the second period, and Gomez just chipped away. He's got unlimited in the gas tank, so he's tough to hold off. But the problem with that is a guy like Bravo Young gets another 5-6 point lead against you. You pretty much have to pin him. You're not going to break him and take him down 5 times. And he did what he had to. But to your point, yeah, I think Bravo Young at this point, I don't want to say he's a surefire bet because that weight's so tough, but I'd put him in my top 8 come March.
So talking 149 at the Scuffle, talking Penn State, I feel at this point that it's Burgie's weight class. He finished higher than Verkleeren, and he's just producing more. And with Verkleeren, I feel, or not so much Verkleeren, I'm really back up. With Penn State, I feel that usually Scuffle seems like their end time to make a significant change to their lineup. Now, barring injury or Burgie having difficulties making weight, I think he's the man moving forward at 49. Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's the man to beat. Verkleeren, I mean, he didn't even place, right? Both of them had a little bit of issue getting their offense going, but I think Burgie's the better guy.
Moving on to 57, Nolf. Nolf was Nolf. A little scared early on. Didn't look himself, but, all he did was win another Scuffle title. Yeah,
he's a magician. There's only a few guys in the country that can even keep it remotely competitive with him. He has to beat up on his teammate in the finals, but he's just incredible to watch. 65, I thought, was the big one. Chance was able to keep it really competitive with Vincenzo. Did that surprise you at all?
Yeah, it did. I didn't think after prior results, I didn't think that Chance would be able to. But I'll tell you what, he looked good. He pushed him. He got to his offense, got to his legs. He made Vincenzo earn it, and I'd love to see them wrestle again. Yeah,
me as well. Chance looks like a guy that could definitely be in the finals or at least the semis. To be interesting to see. I get a feeling they're going to meet again. Cut to 74. You had Hall with another title win. Did you notice him and Vincenzo were doing kind of that Muay Thai clinch, like 2 hands on the neck from a tie-up? I thought that was very interesting. Did you catch that?
I didn't until you brought it to my attention, went back and looked. I don't know what the strategy or theory is behind that, but that's if it starts working, you're going to see a lot of people start doing it.
I tested it out on some of the high school kids I practiced with, and they weren't able to get out of it, so it must work.
There you go. My opinion, Hall was just workmanlike. He was Hall. I feel like he's just wrestling with so much confidence now after that Valencia match. I'm sure he was confident going into it, but winning and kind of just the manner in which he won just further just made him that much more confident. And looking past Hall at 74, you had true freshman Trent Hidley from NC State had a good tournament, finishing 4th. As a true freshman, losing to Joe Smith 4-2 from Oklahoma State, and then losing to McFadden from Virginia Tech 3-2 for 3rd and 4th. You can't ask for much more out of a true freshman. And again, he's already had some big wins under his belt. He's definitely making the most of this redshirt year. To get to become as good as he possibly can.
Yeah, I'm impressed with him. I think he's their best guy. You have the Bullard boys at 65 and 74. The bigger one just lost to Campbell from Ohio State. I think Trent's probably the better option for them long term. They're going to honor the red shirt, but I think he'll be in the lineup next year. And what did you think of heavyweight? Kassar. I think a lot of people were drinking the Kool-Aid with him.
Yeah, this guy included. And going into this weekend, I felt Kassar was the second best heavyweight in the country. That definitely changes, with him losing. Heavyweight's not it is, a lot of people say it's a one-man show with Gable Stevenson being the lead man and everyone else. But, heavyweight, Gable Stevenson could possibly struggle with some of these athletic guys, Derek White, Anthony Kassar. Mason Parrish just has red shirt lifted at Michigan. There's going to be some guys, especially in that Big Ten, that when it comes down to it, it's going to be a throwdown. So I'm excited. I'm still thinking Gable Stevenson's the guy to beat, but I think in some instances it'll be closer than people might think.
Yeah, I think a guy people are sleeping on if he's healthy is Sam Stoll, just because of his size. He's bigger than all those guys, which makes him definitely a threat to a guy that could be in the mix for sure. Jumping ahead outside the big tournaments, some of the bigger matches, you had Hidley get back on track, beating up on Hayes from Ohio State 7-2, and then Pletcher won by injury default over Tariq Wilson. That was kind of a bummer. That looked like it was about to be a really good match, and Wilson got hurt. Pletcher has some lightning quick reattacks, but Wilson, his length was really giving him trouble. I was excited to see how that played out. Man, what did you think of that? Did you think Pletcher was going to make his way back, or just too close to call?
It was too close to call at that point. It was too back and forth. It was really neat to watch because you had the contrasting body styles and wrestling styles, for that matter. The like you said, the reattacks by Wilson, maybe especially that early takedown, he got maybe put Pletcher on his heels a bit and made him think twice about picking his shots and maybe second guessed it, but. And he was able to ride him a little bit. He built that riding time a little bit early on. I felt the match was going Wilson's way. If there was they drew a playbook up for it. It was going Wilson's way. The injury is unfortunate, and in January there's no point in chancing something despite the high profile match that to make something worse. And to be honest, he didn't look He barely could put weight on his leg leaving it, so I'm really hoping it's nothing major because Tariq Wilson, again, you're talking about a guy that busted out. He busted out in a big way last year, and he was exciting doing it. And wrestling needs a guy like him out there, you're making the crowd go ooh and ah and beating kids the way he does. Yeah,
I 100% agree. And looking ahead to this week, some of the matches I'm really excited for, you have some big ones at the Iowa dual meet. You have the all-PA match, Lizak versus DeSanto, McKee versus Murin, and then Young versus Blees. That one at 33, that's like throwing two rabid cats in a bag and letting them fight it out. Who do you got there?
I'm going to take the elder statesman, Lizak. Lizak's burned me in the past, but again, I'm not wavering from it. I think Lizak's going to do just enough to get a takedown in the first period. And then that's going to spell trouble for DeSanto because DeSanto's, if you're going to pick a place to put him where he's not, and it's the weakest of the three, it is bottom, and we know Lizak's a hammer on top. And at some point in time, Lizak's probably going to have a choice, and we've seen it before where he takes top. So if he has success on top there, he's probably going to go back to it. So I just think that given his strength, his greatest strength is probably DeSanto's. I don't want to say greatest weakness because he's not really weak there, but of his three positions, the one he's the least strong in, that could be trouble for DeSanto. But there's always a but. DeSanto is like endless gas tank, could be a problem for Lizak as we have seen in the past in some instances. So there could be some give and take. I think that first takedown's huge, and getting Lizak to dictate the pace of the match.
Yeah, it's a big one. I don't know how to call it. I could see DeSanto jumping up big and then getting turned 3 or 4 times, or I don't know. I mean, you could call Lizak come out on fire, get a takedown early, and score 12 points. So that's a big one. You got Young at 57. He needs to win that match. Blees has creeped up to 9 in the rankings, but that's a guy Young should beat. And then 41. I mean, Albert's got number 5, McKee. That'd be a good statement match for him. We kind of dogged him a little bit earlier in the podcast, but that'd be a big win for him. Pitt, they're going to wrestle South Dakota State. Gross hasn't been on the mat yet. Do you expect to see him out here versus Philippi? And if he does wrestle, how do you see it going?
It's one of those other things where Philippi kind of has to dictate. For him to have success, he has to kind of dictate the pace. He has to keep it on his feet as much as humanly possible and not let Gross get to his strength. If this match were to happen, I think Philippi can. After watching him in Vegas and watching him this year, I think he has the ability to do that. But it comes at at some point in time, Gross is going to have the opportunity to take top, and if he does choose to do so, how's Philippi going to react to that? Because we know Gross is an absolute man on top and turns a lot of guys at a very high rate.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. And then maybe the biggest match of the weekend is 165, you got Vincenzo Joseph versus Evan Wick. They have not wrestled yet. This is the one guy Joseph hasn't beaten. Wick, when he gets in a pickle, he can always pick top and can turn most guys. I don't know if that's going to work versus Vincenzo. Do you think Wick can compete with him, or do you think Vincenzo's just on a different level right now?
I go back and forth with this one. If I would say Wick could compete had he beat Marinelli recently, but he didn't. So I'm going to go and say, Vincenzo wins this one, but it's going to be tight. I don't think Vincenzo is going to have, the ease as normal to get to his offense from his feet. And, Bono's going to have Wick ready, but, Bono's doing big things at Wisconsin. And I think it's only a matter of time before we see the Badgers as looked upon as one of those top teams in the Big Ten instead of like in the second tier. I think Bono, with the resources and his ability to coach guys up, can get them in the regular conversation and make that top tier of teams in the Big Ten. It'll go to 4 teams. It'll go Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. And that's how confident I am in the job that Bono's doing. Bono, by the way, he's got Pennsylvania. He's a Pennsylvania native, for those that don't know. And
Bono, he's from Florida, I thought.
No, he moved to Florida and went to high school there.
Oh, he's from PA originally.
Correct.
We need to get him on the podcast. That guy is a ball of fire.
Yes, fun to watch, and guy just so passionate about it, and I feel Wisconsin's already yielded results. This early on in the process, I feel like he's changing the culture there for the better. And he won at South Dakota State, and he put people on notice and won big matches there and developed guys. So he's got unlimited resources at a Big Ten school for the most part, and I think he's going to do great things. Yeah,
he's everywhere he goes. The guys go from losing 2-point matches to winning 2-point matches. Right? He's not going to turn water into wine, but he can break an egg and make an omelet, so to speak.
All right, folks, so we're going to change gears. We're going to hit off the interview with Sammy Sasso, bringing in former PA Hammer, now with the Ohio State Buckeyes, fresh off his third-place finish at Midlands. So stay tuned and enjoy. All right, fans, we're got a little bit of a treat for you right now. We got Sammy Sasso, the Ohio State Sammy Sasso by way of Nazareth, District 11 guy. Some of you might remember him as one of the PA Hammers, as we refer to them, back in his time in high school. Now, like I said, Ohio State joining us. Sammy, Rob and I are pumped that you took some time out of your evening tonight. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah, so jumping right into it, Sammy, we talked a little bit about your performance at the Midlands earlier in the show. Obviously, you were on fire. You came in, took third, and what I consider the toughest bracket in the tournament, beat 4 national qualifiers. Pantelio, 2-time All-American. You kind of beat up on him a little bit. Obviously, being in redshirt, was this kind of the big tournament for you during the year, not being able to wrestle in the NCAAs, the Big Tens? Did you kind of mark this on your calendar as kind of the crown jewel for the year, so to speak?
Yeah, definitely. One of the better tournaments, one of the better open tournaments during the season. So I was going in. I was excited to compete. Getting against that real top tier competition, and then I kind of see Flo posting all the guys going 149, and it's loaded like the week leading up to it. So I was pumped. Getting the opportunity to wrestle against these better guys and top nationally ranked guys in the country. I was pumped.
Hey, question, Sam. Yeah. You brought up Flo, and you kind of grew up in the age where you had all this information at your fingertips and the ability to watch matches and see different things and national rankings and just a click away. How much do you still look at it, watch it, read into stuff like that, and in your opinion, what about your teammates? Do college guys, really get into Flo and what they have to say and their rankings?
I don't get into the hype too much. Like, me and Teamer through first round, and it's getting a little hyped up on Twitter and stuff. You can't draw into that. You gotta keep your head on and be ready to scrap. So day of, I'm not really watching it, but I'm always on Flo, watching matches, watching technique. Before Flo was around, I used to go on my computer, and when I was real young in elementary school, and I was looking up results of old tournaments, seeing who beat who and at what tournament, and marking it on my calendar, getting ready to go to that. So before Flo was around, I was always watching results. So I'm still doing the same thing.
So you're just like a junkie for anything wrestling, is what you're telling us.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll get on YouTube and try to find the international matches that I can, and always watching the good Flo matches. Good.
So, being that you have been like a student of the game or student of the sport, in a sense, is there any one style that you've maybe likened yourself to that you go out and try to emulate, or do you take a lot of what you see and kind of just create your own?
Yeah, I just create my own. I don't think there was ever like a time in my life where I really looked up to someone. I was like, oh, I want to be like that guy. I was always like, I'm Sammy Sasso. I'm going to go make a name for myself. And but I'll steal technique from people all the time. You know, if I see the best guy, I'm going to take it from the best guys. You know, world champions, what they're doing. I'm going to steal technique from them and try to incorporate it into my arsenal and put my own little twist on it.
Sammy, when did you start doing that? Where you started, I guess, picking up things from other guys? And I mean, have you always been such a wide open wrestler? That's why I like watching you wrestle. You're good all three positions. You can put guys on their back. You're a lot of fun to watch. I mean, when did you kind of establish that style?
Since I was young, you know, I was just I was never one to hang back and try to win a close match like 3-1 or 2-1. You know, I wanted to go out there and score points and you know, create action and just try to score points. That was always the goal, and be aggressive. You know, that was one big thing where I was always aggressive. So when I'm in the practice room, I'm aggressive and I'm trying to make things happen. And you know, I'll hit something. I didn't really know what I did, but I felt it, and it felt good. And then I'll start working that into my technique.
Is that something like? Do you ever surprise yourself in a match where you hit something and you're like, "Holy crap! I didn't know I have that." Or have you practiced something or felt it in the room before hitting it before?
Yeah, not so much in a match, but in the practice room, like I'll play with something. And I kind of have it. I can hit it every once in a while, and then like, you know, Tervel will see me trying to do it and come over and show me the correct technique, and I'm like, that's it. Like it'll click in my head. Like, that's what I got to do to make this work every time. And he's great to have in the room. He's always showing me good technique that I can pick up.
So you mentioned your room. You mentioned Tervel. Tell us what are the reasons, or maybe those are the only reasons that you chose Ohio State over every other school that recruited you.
So the college decision was really tough. Tough decision, but you know, the culture out here at Ohio State, it was different. You know, I felt everyone was close together. You know, and everybody's working hard and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, you know, ultimately it came down to that gut feeling. Like I felt it in my gut, like this is the place I need to be. These are the people I got to be around. And, you know, I think guys come in and they feel it when they're on their visits, you know, the type of culture that we have here and the type of people that we have here at Ohio State.
So, day in and day out, do you have the opportunity to wrestle with like the likes of Micah Jordan? Like, as he, you know, being around guys like that, how much has it helped you?
Oh, so much. You know, being in a room where you got studs all over, like you need a partner and you're going to get someone good who's going to push you. Being in a room like that just makes you so much tougher. Makes you so much better, especially, you know, I came in as a freshman, came in the summer, and Stever and McKenna are getting ready for the Final X. And I'm just got thrown in, you know, coming off of my senior year of high school, and I'm getting beat up by these guys. You know, never got beat up like this in a practice room before, but I never got discouraged or worried. I just stayed with it. You know, they're beating me. They're beating the crap out of me. I'm just back in their face. I'm trying to score as hard as I can. You know, it doesn't always work out that way, but that's what I do. I just get up and I keep trying to score. You know, I'm getting beat up, but having guys like that in the room, and now I've worked up where I can be competitive with mostly everyone in the room, and you know, it's a good scrap every time I get into that practice room. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to get those live goes in.
Sammy, when you got in there, you went there in the summer, correct?
Yeah, I was there in the summer.
What was your biggest deficiency? Like, when did you get in there and you're like, man, I thought I was good at this, but I'm getting scored on by everyone, or I can't hold anyone down. Like, what was your biggest weakness?
That positioning the hand fight. You know, these guys, the hand fight. My hand fighting has evolved. Like, I got in there and I'm trying to tie up with these guys, and they're clearing ties so fast, getting to their tie, snapping me down. And it was hard to get any offense going. So working with Tervel, allowing the hand fighting, and just putting that into my drilling, that's been the biggest adjustment.
How long did it take you to start feeling comfortable there? And you're probably still going to keep improving, right? But to the point where you were able to, I guess, start using it more, or hold guys off?
Probably about 4 or 5 months. 4 or 5 months, yeah. But, you know, I just keep improving it. It's not like, all right, well, I can hand fight with these guys now. I'm just going to settle. And no, I just got to keep improving the hand fight, keep wearing on my opponent, and just keep getting better.
Speaking of being the young guy in the room, how do you like being in red shirt? You're a guy, I always respected you, and you know, Trent Hidley, it seemed like you guys wrestled everywhere in high school, whether it's the junior duels, Flow Nationals, NHSCAs. Like, is it killing you to not be able to compete in the Big Tens and the Nationals this year, or is it just part of the process?
So, you know, the competitor in me wants to go out and scrap, wants to go out and wrestle his best guys. But you know, I got full faith in my coaches. This was the best decision for me, best decision for the team, and I believe them. I got full faith in them that this was the best decision for me, and the training doesn't change. You know, I'm not training like. I got a year till the big show. No, I'm in that room and I'm training like I'm getting ready for March, like I would be wrestling. You know, like I'm training day in and day out, like I'm going to be wrestling at the Big Tens and wrestling in March. And they stay on me. They do a good job of making sure I'm working hard, and I got all the resources right there.
I did notice at the Midlands, you looked a lot physically stronger than I remember in high school. Do you feel like you're getting that man strength? Has weightlifting been more of a focus for you, or are you just starting to mature, you think, physically?
Yeah, so I didn't really lift weights in high school, but, you know, I got here and they got me lifting right away, and, you know, I can feel it, and it's definitely made a big difference, lifting weights and getting stronger.
So let's fast forward. Not that we're putting this season behind you, because I definitely feel like you gained valuable experience. That's what the college game's all about. But what's your off season going to look like? You going to wrestle freestyle?
Yeah, I'll do some freestyle wrestling. Hopefully, you know, everything goes smooth. Wrestle at the Open and then wrestle at the trials. So, you know, just until then, I'm just focused on folk style and keep improving. And like I said, I'm training like I'd be wrestling in March.
That's awesome. So, tell us about, like, you know, looking, you know, year round. How important is that? You know, Ohio Regional Training Center there at Columbus? Like, you know, how important is it to your development as a wrestler?
It's huge, you know. There's just good guys all around, and just because it's the off season, and you know, we're not taking time off. It's we're still grinding, you know, off season or not. We get in there, and the practices are tough, and you know, like I said, I'm excited every time I step in there, whether it's the regular season or the off season. I'm excited when I get in a room and able to scrap with these guys.
Now, were you ever like starstruck walking in there? Like maybe at first, like seeing some of these guys that maybe you grew up watching that you got to, you know, share the room with at this point in time?
No, not so much. Not really. Like probably when I was younger, I probably, you know, looked at those guys and I'm like, oh, I want to be better than him. I don't want to be like him. I want to be better than him. That was probably what I was telling myself in elementary school and middle school when I was watching them scrap.
So change gears a little bid here, as we go through these questions, and this is one we'll have a little fun with. You're a District 11 guy, and I'm sure you have a lot of pride in being coming from that area, arguably one of the toughest areas of any state in the country. Rob's a District 7 guy. Give us what do you think? District 11, District 7, which one's tougher?
District 11 all the way. But District 7 has their years. They definitely have their years. I think you look at it as a whole, the history. I think the 11 got them beat by a little bit, but that's no knock on the Pittsburgh area. Hammers coming out there all the time. So it should be fun. Watching some of these D11 guys and these Whippeal guys scrap at the state tournament this year.
So I know you're busy with all your other stuff. Have you been following back home and what's the recent tournament events there?
Yeah, I have been a little bit. I seen Liberty beat Becca. It was a nice win for them. Came down to the last one. Yeah, that was cool. I know a lot of guys on that Liberty team, so I was happy for them. The Blue Eagles lost to Northampton, first time in a while, but that's all good. Kroll will get them ready for March. He always does. So, but there's some good teams. There's some good talent in D11 right now, especially teams straight through the lineup. There's like solid teams with a good 14 kids on the lineup, not teams with 5 studs.
So again, you mentioned Coach Crowell. What makes him so special?
I don't know if I can even put my finger on it. What makes him such a good coach and such a special guy? Besides being a coach, just the type of person that he is, the type of guy that he is. He is one guy that I'll say, I want to be like him as a person when I'm older, because that's how good of a guy he is. And as a coach, phenomenal. He not only the system that he had for a high school season to get you at your peak for March, just like the wisdom that he had. He could come up to me before a match and just say like 3 sentences, and a light bulb will flick in my head. Like, that's what I got to do. And that's what I got to do. And it wasn't technical. It was a mental thing. Most of the time it was a mental thing. That light bulb flicked, and I knew that's how I needed to change my mentality. And I don't know how he got so good, but he's an awesome coach. The best.
Sammy, speaking of your District 11 days, you were on some really good teams at Nazareth. This is kind of circling back, but you won a state title, both dual and individual. When you chose Ohio State, how important was that to you to be on a team that could push for a national title or be right up there?
Yeah, that was definitely in the play. I think we got the guys to do it too. This freshman class, Hoffman, Heinzelman, Kinner, Maddox, and a couple other guys, Felix, Freeman, Jordan, some studs. And then this incoming class, 2019, we got some tough kids, Kirkliet, Karsla, Decatur, D'Amelio. I'm excited. I'm excited for the future and what we can do.
You excited to have some freshmen to beat up on, since that was you 7-8 months ago?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, those guys are tough. They're going to come in and they're going to be ready to scrap. They'll probably be down here in the summer, and they'll get run through a tough summer just like we did, toughen them up real quick.
So what is it about Ohio State that has all these studs going there? And if you're recruiting a kid or you have a kid on a visit, why are you telling them to come there? What's the difference?
At some points, I don't even have to tell them to come. they just come and hang out with us for a day and a half or 2 days, and they fall in love with the school. That's how happy they are, and how much they enjoyed the visit, how much they like being around us, and like being around the coaches. I'll try to tell them how good our coaches is and how good all the facilities are and all the resources you have here. But every college in America is telling them that, right? Every college that's recruiting them is going to tell them how awesome this guy is in the room and how awesome this guy is. When it comes down to it, when they come on and visit, they just enjoy being around us. Positive energy, and most of the kids enjoy the visit.
Well, Sammy, again, Rob and I can't thank you enough for the time you gave us this evening and taking away from schoolwork with it, being the restart of your second semester. So we don't want to keep it too long. And like I said, we from PA Power, we're always going to be on your side and in your corner, cheering for you and wanting you to do well. If what we saw at Midlands was an inkling of what we're going to see in the future, again, it's going to be a real exciting ride for us fans, seeing it through with you. So again, keep doing what you're doing because it's working.
Thank you. I appreciate all the support, guys.
Hey, Sam, one more question I forgot to ask you. After you beat Lugo, you're pretty animated. What were you yelling? Do you have ice in your veins?
Yeah, I was just passion, I guess,
It's okay, man. You weren't yelling at him or his coaches. You were just fired up.
No, I was yelling it to Julius in the corner and Heitzelman in the corner. So, I was a little fired up. I'm not really one to celebrate, but I don't know. Let it fly. It was on the top of my head.
Well, cool, man. Thanks for the time.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate everything.
All right, that'll wrap it up for another week here in the open room with Rob and Joe. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, visit PAPowerWrestling.com for all your wrestling needs. Follow us on Twitter at PAPowerWrestle. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook, and check us out on Instagram. Don't forget, fans, you can subscribe to PA Power on podcast on iTunes and listen to all 3 shows on Spotify. If you want to send any suggestions or questions to the show, email us at collegetalk@PAPowerWrestling.com. Thanks, and have a great evening.